So what are some challenges that you face as a creator? And I feel like for you, you could kind of tie in a bit of your kind of work as a editor as well within the industry.
Yeah, I feel like for me, it's hard to separate my job from being a creator.
Yeah.
Because if I get invited to Fashion Week, I'm like, is that for my job? Is that for like as a creator? Like, who are you asking? And I would like to distinguish the two. Also, I think it's just like such a saturated space, especially for girls doing fashion. Every girl wants to do fashion. Like, it's so hard to break into. So yeah, I would say those are probably the biggest.
Yeah, for me, it's the diversity aspect. I think as far as we've come, the creator economy has so much more. They have to go further. We have to break more barriers. And for me, as someone with under 100K followers, I find it really difficult to, build that community and audience who can resonate with me because my lived experiences are so different to what the world looks like. So being a small creator, I feel like I have to work harder. I have to work faster. I have to work longer. And it can sometimes be really disheartening. It can mean that I don't live in the moment. I come to London every week, go to my job. It's difficult, but it's so rewarding at the end of the day, especially when I'm doing it for the girls like me that aren't just there yet. But those are the challenges that I've faced so far.
That's really nice to hear. And I feel like it's like growing up, you don't see minority creators.
No.
Like you grow up with white creators, that's just how it is.
Yeah.
And then like so you being one of these people that is really like making space safe for young girls that are like of a minority to come in and be like, oh, actually she's doing it and she's doing incredible.
And so
like
the Asian community.
Yeah. But yeah, it's good to see. What are some of your techniques for growing and engaging with your audience?
I think for me, they have loved seeing me from the ground up. I think when I started my journey in the, being a content creator, I started off in travel and did a lot of that. I was a YouTuber. I didn't even really delve deep into Instagram.
So you started on YouTube?
Not a lot of people know that I started on YouTube.
Okay.
And yeah, so I would do like snapshots of like my travels. And then when I migrated to Instagram, I think people were like, I found that finding locations in London to shoot was the hardest thing, and people gatekeep. I get that gatekeeping is all great when it's like
never great.
But you don't want someone to discover something straight away. I understand.
And then it's mainstream, yeah.
And then it's mainstream, I get it, especially if it's an authentic place. However, we're all in the same place here. We're trying to grow. So I think for me, my audience loved that I just broke those barriers. I didn't care. So I would just share those locations, and that's how I think I kind of grew. I started off I used to call myself bougie on a budget, and then as time would go on, I was like bougie and then brackets sometimes on a budget, and now I'm just like, I don't even have that because sometimes I've grown so much, my career has changed, I get paid now, so I think they'd love to see that journey. Yeah.
Oh,
how about you?
Nice. I would say the same, like really being open with your audience about what they're looking for. And that kind of content where you're telling them like the inside scoop that like no one else, like people don't speak about in the industry, is like what people follow you for, because like you're going to be open and honest. You're not going to gatekeep these things that everyone else is. So I think that stuff, and like for me, I don't know, like just sharing every aspect of my life. Whereas before I was like, no, I have to be fashion. Whereas actually no, when I share career stuff, like girls that want to get into like marketing or like work in publishing and like traveling content as well, like food, like all of this stuff, just who you are as a person, sharing every aspect online, not obviously the personal things, but yeah, everything. I think that's what's helped me grow.
What is your creative process for receiving a brief and working with a brand or being the brand?
Okay, yeah, so as I've got insight from both, I would say firstly making sure like the brief is super flexible, not like so tight, because like obviously if I'm going out to influencers and it's a really tight brief and it's like this is the exact video or photo we want, they're not going to want to play with that, and they're not going to be able to like be creative, and the reason you chose them is for their content style. So I feel like just being flexible with that, being super like diverse with the creative process, and making sure like you're covering like every single angle and you're not going out to one particular niche. So I would say that, and also as an influencer, like from the other side, really being hard on negotiation, which is like you've taught me, a lot of other creators have taught me, which when you start, you don't. You just take whatever money.
You accept anything.
Because you're desperate. But yeah, I think just being really, really hard on like, okay, this is my rates and that's it. Like creating the media pack and even on like content style, if there's a lot of pushback and like, no, you need to refilm this, or like consistently back and forth, at the end of the day, they're choosing you for your content style. So you need to be like hard on like, no, this is actually the final one. See what I was saying? What about you?
For me, I would hope the brand has chosen me because they like my authentic style. But one thing that Tati and Becky taught me was Pinterest. I love a Pinterest mood board now. Like I just love it. So whenever I get a brief from a brand, I will always go on their pages, their website, on their Instagram, any social channel or anything that I've seen. And I will try and like mood board kind of based on the product or service, kind of mood board the kind of vibe or vision that I have for it. Brands nowadays ask a lot about concepts, and I work in influencer marketing as well, so I always ask influencers for concepts. And I think sometimes influencers, we can kind of see that as, oh my gosh, more work, but I think it's just so much better because now I can give you my visual take. So I love giving them kind of my ideas if it's well paid and, you know, go from there. So yeah, I think that's what it is for me, kind of mood boarding and kind of, I would pick out the keywords that is in their brief because you normally get a creative brief and pick out the keywords and try and kind of find a way to connect that with who I am or what I'm about. So yeah, that's kind of the first go-to for me.
What would you do if a brand had like a really tight brief of what they wanted and you were not super aligned with that, but you liked the brand?
Well, I just had that just now.
Will you go back to them like with a mood board?
So I actually did that. So I recently just had a brand deal that it was just very, very ad heavy. They wanted me to have the brand name in every little crevice of the content. It just felt really, I mean, it's a great brand, but I just thought it might not resonate well. I think we all know that content that feels too ad focused doesn't perform well. So I went back to them, I told them, you know, I'm happy to do it your way. You're paying me for a service and I'm happy to do this. But at the same time, I'm just going to let you know that this is the case. How about we try this? How about we try that? And they were not willing to change, and that's that. Sometimes you just can't, you know, you can't change it.
You didn't work with them in the end?
No, I did. Yeah.
On what they wanted?
Yeah, on what they wanted, because it didn't go against my personal brand or my authenticity.
Okay.
It just was so ad focused for them.
Yeah, and also that's not going to work for them because it's not going to perform because your audience won't resonate with it. It might be too ad heavy, and it won't perform for them because it's not going to convert. So it's like,
but
you need to work together and like, but they're
it just depends on their KPIs and what their objective is. If they only care about awareness and getting the word out, then fine. But if they wanted like numbers and a turnaround, I you know, that would be difficult. So I think sometimes it's definitely always worth speaking up, but
but it didn't work.
Yeah,
not this
time.
It's okay, it's a learning process.
It is.
And I feel like sometimes as well, like I think the brands need to like reposition themselves and think about what are they using, like, and working with the influencers for. Like you probably find that a lot with brands. Because like, for example, I worked for a menswear brand before and they were only reaching out to menswear influencers, so we were like, let's think outside the box and speak to female creators who are maybe actually a lot of the market are buying for their husbands, partners, dads. And that was the highest like influencer collab we'd ever made, had made like triple the amount of money any menswear like influencer had. So like, I think brands need to think outside the box sometimes and maybe not be so ad heavy and all of that. So
it's a process. Game. It's time for a game. Here's what you've just talked about. Talk us through how you'd work on this brief.
Okay, streaming service. The aim is to encourage people to start using our streaming service and to access all their favorite shows in one place, highlighting features such as voice search and smart recommendations. Okay, concept example, a movie night with friends where no one can decide what to watch and you're looking for a show and you don't know what platform it's on with voice search. So I think basically none of you, you're with your friends having a movie night and none of you know what you're looking for, so you use the voice search option.
Okay, voice search.
Deliverables, one video on TikTok and Instagram, one story set, 3 slides.
Okay, so streaming platform. Everyone loves my and my boyfriend's kind of staycation content. So I think for us, we would be in some sort of cabin retreat or a getaway. We're obsessed with movies. And we could just be creating content that would be back and forth comedy style of just kind of comedy. Bantering each other about, what about this? Oh, guys, I don't know. It's just so bad.
No, you're doing actually really well.
Okay, so we're both stood in front of the TV, kind of a shot from the back, and we're basically like, hey, Alexa, it's probably not Alexa, but hey, Alexa, play period dramas. And he's like, no, play something else. So I think we would kind of do content around that. It would be a reel. And then in the end, it would kind of be some story frames on like the features. This is so bad.
No, it's not. It's really good. Yeah. And then what rate would you do?
What rate? 1 reel, 3 story rates.
Yes.
2K for the reel, 400 to 600 for the story set.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
2.6. But it's their usage.
Okay.
Because this is organic.
Okay.
No usage.
Okay.
No paid.
So how much would you charge for usage on top?
30% more
Okay.
per month.
Okay. That's good. It's really
bad.
good. No, I
That's
thought that was
really
good.
bad.
No, because everyone does know you and your boyfriend for that content.
That's the only thing I would
It's
stand by.
recognizable and it'll be
Yeah.
authentic.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I think that's really good. And also, I think that's a really common problem couples have. So you would relate.
I feel like it is a common problem that couples have, but yeah. This is so up your street, a clothing brand highlight. So the aim is an everyday fashion brand has a large range of clothes with pockets and wants creators who can style their key pieces. So think chinois, jeans and dresses with pockets and highlight why you love pockets. They want you to channel summer vibes and get inspired to put your own style into a 30 second to 1 minute video. So the concept example is, why do you love pockets? Always have your lipstick ready, hide fidgety hands. My phone is my life and what's in my pocket. So kind of think like what's in my bag vibe, but what's in my pockets? Deliverables, 1 video, 60 seconds on Instagram, and 1 story set, 2 to 3 frames. Bonus, what would you rate?
Okay, so I'd probably go and do Vox Pops on like Carnaby Street, Soho. And I'd probably like have some of the clothes with me, and one idea could be I could be wearing like a coat with pockets, and I could be maybe like asking people on the street, like, I don't know, this is not a good idea. Or maybe like getting people to try on the jacket and be like, oh, like style it for me, or like, oh, you've got like 20 seconds to style this jacket for me, like, oh, and what do you normally put in your pockets? Or like, guess what I've got in my pockets? Because it could, I'm sure they're like really sleek pockets. Or it could be just like me styling one outfit, like, and showing what I'm taking that I would normally take in my bag, but like I'm taking it in my pockets instead as a girl. Here are my makeup essentials, they're fitting in my pocket. Different ideas, yeah.
Story set?
Oh, probably just me, like the first one, like putting the jacket on, second one, putting the bits in my pocket, third one, leaving the house, probably. Simple?
Yeah, that was really good. I love that one.
The pressure.
That was bad.
No, that was good.
I hope I don't lose my job now.
And how much would I charge?
Yeah, how much do you charge?
So I would charge for Instagram probably more, probably like 1.3 for the reel, because I've got a much smaller audience than you. And then for story sets, yeah, probably like 300. And then usage on top, probably like another 500 or so.
Okay. Yeah. Lovely.